Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you'll never miss a new episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the I Love Dentistry office hours with Gary Takas. We had a technical glitch the last time we tried to go live. The topic today is 6 steps to successfully drop PPO plans. Given this is the January of 2022, it's a great topic to talk about because I know many people. We recently celebrated 500 member milestone with that reducing insurance dependence academy. So many people are interested in this topic. So Gary,
and Aaron, one of the things I'm noticing is that one of the most popular topics in the private dental Facebook groups, there's a lot of private dental Facebook groups out there. One of the most popular topics is, I've had it up to here with these PPO plans. What should I do? And there's a chorus now of comments around, you got to kick these insurance companies to the curb because, let's look at things analytically. Let's step back and look at things analytically for just a minute, Aaron. Unfortunately, we are all right in the middle of a very high inflationary cycle right now. Inflation, the most recent report was 7%, and we have to go back over 40 years in U.S. history to find an inflationary time that compares to what we're experiencing right now. And on just simple terms, what that means is that everything is more expensive. And let's relate that to a dental practice. Everything in a dental practice is more expensive, from our supplies to, whether that be clinical supplies or office supplies. Toilet paper, in the practice is more expensive. Wages are much more expensive now. So every dentist practice owner is facing rising costs of doing business. And what most businesses do when you're faced with rising costs, you end up raising your fees or raising your prices to the consumer. You pass that along to the consumer. But dentists that are in PPO plans are unable to do that because they don't set their fees anymore. The PPO plan sets the fees. So now what we're experiencing on the other side is, in the face of rising costs for the dentist, many PPO plans are actually reducing compensation to the dentist. So the dentist is getting hit by both sides: rising costs, lower income. And so many dentists have simply they've been kind of, feeling the pinch of this for a while. But now they're saying, enough is enough. And I need to take control of this. And the only way I can take control of this is to drop the PPO plans so that I can regain control of my cost structure. A very simple question that I would ask any of our dentists in I Love Dentistry is, why in the world would you let any other entity set your fees? Because they don't know your cost of doing business. They don't know that you embrace technology. They don't know that you take maybe 5 or 10 times the amount of CE that's required to keep your license. They don't know that you want to pay your team members very well so you can attract and keep the best team members. But meanwhile, they're simply lowballing your fees and setting the fees at the lowest common denominator, and you're subjected to that. Many dentists have said they've had enough.
Makes sense. I think, even yesterday you had a webinar about 60, how to reduce your overhead to 60%, and you have a masterclass today on the same topic. And I know the number one theme that came out of that webinar yesterday was, people are sick and tired of, paying almost half in many cases to insurance companies.
Well, the difference between your usual fee and the contracted fee is now between 45 and 50% on average. Some cases even higher than that. So even on the low side of that, the 45% discount or adjustment on your fee, that means if you have a service that's $1,000, your fee for service patient pays $1,000 for it. But if the patient is a PPO patient, you don't get $1,000. You now get $550.
Right.
And therein lies the problem. So we have, in my work with clients all over the country, we've literally come up with a blueprint to successfully drop PPO plans. And it involves these 6 steps. And it's literally a blueprint. It's kind of like if you were going to build a building, you wouldn't go out and just randomly start doing stuff. You would hire an architect to design a blueprint. Well, we have a blueprint for that, and that's from having helped hundreds of practices to successfully drop PPO plans. One of the ways we measure your success is what percent of your existing in-network patients do you keep when you go out of network? And today we are seeing fantastic results. You're going to lose some patients when you go out of network. There's no way to sugarcoat that. However, when you follow this blueprint, you're going to lose way fewer than you think. You will typically keep between 85 and 90% of your in-network patients. I think anyone listening to this can do the math to figure out that is a massive success when it comes to the economics of the practice. Now, let's go through those 6 steps.
Yes.
They're not in any particular order. I'm going to number them 1 through 6 so I can remember to cover them all. Number 1, know your data. Know your data. And that's a simple exercise where we know exactly how many plans you're on, how many active patients you have on each plan, and the resignation notice requirement. When you resign, you're required to give some notice. It's typically 30, 60, or 90 days. So know your data is simply an exercise to gather all the data. How many plans are you on? How many active patients do you have on each plan? And then what is the resignation period? We use that information to strategically develop the order in which we resign from plans. So number 1, know your data. Number 2, develop a comprehensive digital marketing plan. And the reason they need to do that is they need to replace any patients they might lose. You're going to lose some patients. Remember I said you're going to keep 85 to 90% of them. If you do the reverse of that, that means you're going to lose 10 to 15%. So if you lose 15%, then we've got to replace those, and we want to replace those proactively before you lose them. But even more importantly, you have to replace the flow of new patients that have historically come to you because you're in the PPO plans. Because the minute you resign, it's like a giant hand reaches out and turns the spigot off. Delta stops sending you you're immediately pulled from their online directory of dentists that are in network. You're immediately erased from that. You don't exist anymore in the eyes of Delta.
Right.
And you stop getting new patients that would go to Delta's site and choose a dentist. So you got to replace those. And the best way to do that is do what we did. Naren, we work with your company, Equa, your digital marketing agency that you founded, that you're the CEO of. You are our marketing agency. I'm a paying client and have been for over 5 years. And I'm thrilled with the results that we get. We get about 90 new patients every month from our digital marketing. And I love to say this because this is such a unusual bit of data to be able to share. It's an unusual occurrence. Today, I spend less than we've ever spent on marketing, and I'm getting better results than we ever have. So if you'd like to do that, jump on my shoulders and do what we did. Step 3.
Thank you, Gary. And if anyone is interested, we would offer a free complimentary marketing strategy review. It's a we do 6 hours of research, finding out where you stand on everything that Google cares about, everything that's not helping you make the phone ring, and then of course share with you a 12-month step-by-step plan on all the things that needs to improve for you to see meaningful improvement in your calls from the internet. So.
And Aaron, you can report all kinds of nerdy data from Google about our practice performance. And I love when you do that because I am a nerd and I like that granular detail. However, I'll sum it up very quick. How do we get 90 new patients a month? We are on page 1 for a Google search. When a patient in our community is looking for a dentist, we're on page 1 for 529 keywords and phrases. And in a nutshell, that's how we get 90 new patients a month. It's a lot more complicated than that, but in a real broad 30,000 foot overview, that's how we get it. And you can do the same thing. All right, step 3, create an in-office membership plan. An in-office membership plan allows you to roll the red carpet out for people in your community that don't have insurance. And when they don't have insurance, they don't ask 2 questions. They don't ask, are you a network? Because that question would be irrelevant. And secondly, if you present dentistry to them, if they need treatment, they're not going to ask, doctor, is that covered by my insurance? Because guess what? They don't have insurance. And by the way, the universe of people that don't have insurance is much larger than the universe of people that do. So creating an in-office membership plan. It's kind of like having your own Amazon Prime card for your practice or your own in-office Costco card. So you provide an annual fee that would cover 2 hygiene appointments and exams and x-rays. And then you would provide a a savings for any of your membership plan patients on any service in your practice. Now, we did the heavy lifting for you to determine what that savings should be, and we tested this across many hundreds of practices. We tested a 20% savings, 18%, 15%, 12%, 10%, and 8%. And therein, what we learned was 10% was the sweet spot. Now, I don't like the 10% discount. I don't like it one little bit. But I like it a lot better than the 45 to 50% discount you'd be subjected to under the PPO plan. So there's an in-office membership plan. That's step 3. And that's used as a incentive to bring people from your community who don't have dental insurance into your practice. Step 4, get your team 100% supportive of your plan to drop PPO plans. You can't do it by yourself, doc. It's a team exercise. You want your team 100% supportive. And you need to spend some time training verbal skills, how to answer frequently asked questions, all those sort of things. But we want to get your team 100% supportive. Naren, would you be surprised for me to tell you that when we have the team as charged up about doing this as the doctor, success is virtually guaranteed?
Right. It becomes a mission, right? Like where everyone is like on that mission. It's sometimes we have a heart attack and we say, we're going to change the way I eat or I exercise. It becomes a mission, but of course,
you become very
it's like a
fanatic
wake-up
about
call.
it. Yeah. So we got to get the team 100% supportive. And the great news is when the team understands that this is actually in your patient's best interests, they get behind it. Number 5, we want to elevate the relationship-driven aspect of your practice. The relationship-driven aspect. The more we are in rapport and relationship with our patients, where our patients think of you and your team, they think of being taken care of by people who they know, like, and trust. They are simply less likely. I mean, why would you want to leave? If you know you're being taken care of by compassionate, empathetic people who we know, like, and trust, why in the world would I go anywhere else? You just wouldn't.
Yes.
You don't want to risk rolling the dice and perhaps going to an office where, every time they come in, they see a different dentist. Or every time they come in, they see different team members. That isn't where many people want to go. Now, there are people that look at dentistry as a commodity. They think a crown's a crown's a crown. Filling's a filling's a filling. Well, that's a patient that might be better somewhere else. Because, in fact, a crown is not a crown. There are differences. And if patients just think of dentistry as a commodity, maybe you're not the right office for them. And finally, step number 6, add services not covered by insurance. Now, we call those high-value services. And they're things like placing and restoring dental implants, adult orthodontics, maybe beautiful cosmetic dentistry. Maybe we do oral conscious sedation. Maybe we can do complex restorative dentistry. Maybe we treat obstructive sleep apnea through appliance therapy. People will still ask you, is my dental implant going to be covered by my insurance? They'll still ask you that. But when we tell them, no, unfortunately, dental insurance was only meant to cover the most basic things. And dental implants is not basic. However, we can certainly help you with that. And what most patients say at that point is, well, I didn't think so, but it didn't hurt to ask. So let me recap those 6 steps. Number 1, know your data. Number 2, develop a comprehensive digital marketing plan. Number 3, create an in-office membership plan. Number 4, get your team 100% supportive of your plan. Number 5, elevate the relationship-driven aspect of your practice. And number 6, add services not covered by insurance. As you work through that checklist, and we do all kinds of activities under each one of those steps, you will be fully prepared to successfully drop insurance. And here we are sitting here on the 26th of January. If our listeners will take action on this, they could be a very different practice by the time the clock strikes midnight, December 31st, 2022. In other words, in about 11 months, when we're getting ready for the glittery ball to drop on Times Square, you could have a practice that is either completely insurance-free or radically reduce your insurance dependence. And you don't have to go all the way to be successful. Although if you do want to become a fee-for-service practice, I'll be your biggest cheerleader. But success might be going from, 14, 15, 16 plans down to maybe one. And maybe you have so much success with doing that, it gives you the encouragement to drop that last one. So time to rethink this, and time to think whether 2022 is the year to really regain control of your practice. And I'm going to politely suggest that of all the things you could do strategically in your practice, nothing could be more important than this one in terms of the results that it could create. And I want to encourage you to take the leap. You join quite literally a stampede of dentists that have gotten fed up with the insurance companies abusing them and taking advantage of them. And now take control. There's a grassroots movement. We're seeing it happen in our Reducing Insurance Dependence Academy. There's a grassroots movement afoot to help more dentists succeed. In fact, if you want to take a simple action, go on rid.academy. RIDA is the name of our online digital academy. Naren and I created it. RIDA is both a play on words. We want to help you get rid of insurance. I know that's not grammatically correct. I'm not even sure how to spell that correctly. I guess RIDA. Want to help you get rid of insurance, but it's also an acronym. RIDA, Reducing Insurance Dependence Academy. Our website is rid.academy. Come join us. It's free. We're gifting your membership. Come join us and get on that fast-moving train and join your colleagues who are having massive success at this. You know, Naren, I've done this hundreds of times successfully with clients all over the country. And I always ask one question as the doctor and I debrief what we just did. And I've made a point of asking that question the same way every time. And that way I can kind of see what the trend line is in the answers. And the question that I ask is, Doctor, knowing what you know now in the process that we've just gone through, do you have any regrets? And every time the answer is the same thing. Naren, would you like to know what answer I hear 100% of the time?
Please do. Please tell me.
The only regret I have, Gary, is I didn't do this sooner. That is the answer 100% of the time. The only regret I have, Gary, and I don't prep this ahead of time with them, but they answer extemporaneously every time. The only regret I have is I didn't do this sooner. So take that from your colleagues and regain control of your practice. And really, it's the best thing you could do to develop a thriving practice. What is a thriving practice? A thriving practice is one that provides personal, professional, and financial satisfaction. Personal satisfaction means you're taking care of people you like, surrounded by a team you love. Professional satisfaction means you're doing more of the kind of dentistry you like to do, whatever that is. And financial satisfaction means you're being rewarded handsomely for your care, skill, and judgment. If you can step back and honestly answer that question, is your practice absolutely thriving in regards to those 3 points? And if you say not quite, then I'm going to suggest the most important thing you could do is successfully reduce insurance dependence.
Thank you so much, Gary. This is a wonderful topic, and I think it's a timely topic to start 2022 with. I really appreciate it. You have done so much for the profession, and especially for practices that are on this journey. So thank you so much for everything you do.
And now we should say thanks to our community. We've got over 11,000.
12,000
members now.
12,000.
Oh my goodness! I took I blinked and it grew to 12,000. So we've got 12,000. I stand corrected. We've got 12,000 members, and by statistics, it is one of the most active dental communities on Facebook.
Yes.
And so we have all of our members to thank for that. And we are absolutely the community to be if you love dentistry. If you love dentistry, it is that we will lift you up. We'll celebrate more ways that we can really enjoy this amazing profession. We created it to create a community of people that were like-minded, all surrounded by people that love dentistry. We get nerdy about it, but hey, we don't apologize because we truly believe that dentistry does rock. Dentistry is an amazing profession because we have the ability to change lives every day. Hey, if you know people that you'd like to join us in the community, come invite them. We'd love to have them come join us.